Hi, I'm Erik Linask. I'm with TMC, and I'm here with Vineeth, who's the Vice President of Global Marketing at Panduit. Welcome, Vineeth.
Thank you.
So glad we could be here with you today. Now, I know you guys are doing some exciting things, and you've got some new strategies in place regard to your product line and how you're approaching your customers and what they're doing. But before we get into that, might be a good time to start talking about a little bit about sort of what's changed in the networking space that's led you to this new strategy.
Great, Erik. So really, Panduit is a company that plays in the physical infrastructure. So what we really do is we essentially connect, manage, and automate a variety of logical systems. They could be power systems, control systems, compute systems, communication systems, or security systems. And one of the things that we are seeing is in the past, these 5 systems have largely remained in a very silo environment. They've not really collaborated with each other or communicated with each other. And what's happening, though, is with the advent of IP communication and the rapid growth, because of the need for real-time information, mobility, and access, these systems are beginning to converge and come together and get more integrated and get optimized ultimately. Now, what we do at Panduit is we build a unified physical infrastructure that becomes a very solid foundation for these logical systems and supports their convergence. So really what we are seeing as changing significantly, Erik, is this sort of convergence of these logical systems and really the need for a physical infrastructure to be fully integrated and unified to support these logical systems.
So why is it important to get away from that siloed infrastructure approach?
Great. So what really happens is when you are in a silo environment or you take a silo approach, it's hard to achieve a lot of the business benefits that convergence promises us, right? So for example, we can get significant benefits from business agility perspective, right? So think of this. You have a real-time information from a manufacturing shop floor around work in process or raw material inventory that can be sent all the way upstream into your supply chain and onto your distribution warehouses and your channel partner warehouses as well. Think of the efficiencies that can drive across the entire chain. But that cannot be done unless you have your power and your control systems, right, working together in your manufacturing floor, working with your compute and communication systems on your IT IT data center environment. And that's what's required for those to come together. Another big example is look at the server technology and storage technology and communications technology. All these boxes are becoming bigger and bigger and faster, but they're throwing out more and more heat. Mm-hmm. So what's really happening is we have a huge problem with power and cooling today. So there's, again, a need for optimizing not just the compute and the communication systems, but also the power systems together with that, right? So a number of examples like this, Erik, which bring the need to drive this. End of the day, if you don't have them coming together, you can't really achieve those business benefits around business agility, cost, complexity, sustainability, customer experience, and globalization.
And when you're talking about those business benefits and also about the 5 different types of systems that you mentioned, that's really, you're talking about any company out there, right? So really what you're talking about is impacting the entire business world, not just a small section.
Yeah, absolutely, Erik. I mean, this is a sort of a broad view of the infrastructure, right? Let me break that down for you into simpler domains, if you will, right? So one domain could be the IT environment or the data center environment, right? You've got the different systems there. Right. Data centers are clear. You've got your servers, storage, your switches, right? But you've also got your HVAC systems, your crack units, etc., your air handlers, and so on, right? And you've got physical security as well. Now move over to the buildings area, right? You've got your lighting, your ventilation, air conditioning, access control, physical security as well in the building area. The same thing can be applied also in a factory floor, where you have your controllers, actuators, motors, sensors, together with access control and the other pieces. And today, the factory is becoming IP-enabled as well, so you have your switches as well in that environment. So really, fundamentally what's happening, Erik, is no matter where you look, you're going to come out with these 5 systems that are there. And it could be as fundamental as being in a building, or it could be in a plane, or a train, or a ship. And that's how we look at that. And these systems, as I told you earlier, are all coming together and converging.
Good. We've been talking about what's changed in the networking world and in the networking infrastructure world with Vineeth from Panduit. And we'll be back in just a moment to talk about how Panduit is changing its approach and its strategy to meet those evolving needs.